Hello, tennis fans. Welcome to what promises to be another fascinating chapter in the journey of one of the most exciting young players currently rising in the world of professional tennis. Today, the spotlight turns to Alexandra Eala, the talented Filipina star whose career has been moving at an extraordinary pace over the past year. As she returns to compete at the prestigious Miami Open, the stakes surrounding her performance feel higher than ever before. 12 months ago, this very tournament became the stage for one of the most stunning breakthrough stories the sport had seen in years. For Eala, the 2025 edition of the Miami Open was not just another tournament appearance. It was the moment that changed everything. She has openly admitted that the run she produced in Miami remains the most special achievement of her career so far, describing it as the highlight of her journey in professional tennis. Now, as she returns to Florida once again, she faces a very different challenge. Instead of simply chasing an opportunity, she now carries the responsibility of defending the ranking points she earned during that unforgettable campaign. To truly understand the pressure surrounding her return to Miami, it is important to remember where she stood just 1 year ago. At that time, Eala was still a relatively unknown name on the global tennis stage. She entered the tournament ranked outside the top tier of the sport, sitting at world number 140 in the rankings of the WTA Tour. Many fans were unfamiliar with the young Filipina, and few expected her to become one of the main storylines of the tournament. But sports often produce magical moments when talent meets opportunity, and that is exactly what happened for the teenager from the Philippines. Eala received a wild-card entry into the main draw, a chance that allowed her to compete against some of the most established players in the sport. What followed over the next several rounds would quickly capture the imagination of tennis fans across the world. At just 19 years old, she began producing upset after upset, displaying remarkable composure and fearless tennis against players with far more experience at the highest level. Her journey started with a strong victory against Katie Volanets, a talented competitor who had already established herself on the tour. That opening win immediately sent a signal that Eala had arrived in Miami ready to compete. However, the true scale of her achievement became clear as the tournament progressed. In the following rounds, she faced much tougher opponents, including former Grand Slam champions and elite competitors who had already proven themselves on the biggest stages in tennis. One of the most impressive victories of her run came against Jelena Ostapenko, the powerful Latvian who famously captured the 2017 French Open title. Ostapenko is known for her explosive hitting and aggressive style, yet Eala managed to handle the pressure with impressive maturity. Her ability to absorb pace and counterattack with precision demonstrated that she possessed the technical skills needed to challenge some of the most dangerous players on the tour. But perhaps the result that shocked the tennis world even more came when she defeated Madison Keys, the 2025 Australian Open champion and one of the most powerful hitters in women's tennis. That victory confirmed that Eala's Miami run was no fluke. She was not just competing well, she was defeating some of the best players in the sport. Her path to the quarterfinals also included an unusual moment when Paula Badosa withdrew from their scheduled round of 16 match. While the walkover allowed Eala to advance without playing, it also placed her in an even bigger spotlight as she prepared to face one of the most dominant players in modern tennis. Waiting for her in the quarterfinal was the world number 2 at the time, Iga Świątek. Swiatek had already built a reputation as one of the most formidable competitors on the WTA Tour, a multiple Grand Slam champion whose relentless consistency had placed her among the very best in the game. Many observers expected the young Filipina's remarkable run to end there. Instead, Eala produced the match of her life. Displaying fearless shot-making, intelligent court movement, and remarkable composure, she defeated Swiatek in straight sets, winning 6-2, 7-5. The victory sent shockwaves throughout the tennis world. It was one of the biggest upsets of the entire season and instantly transformed Eala from a promising prospect into one of the most talked-about young players on the tour. That extraordinary performance carried her all the way to the semifinals of the Miami Open, where her inspiring journey eventually came to an end against Jessica Pegula. Although she fell short of reaching the final, The impact of her performance had already been secured. By the time the tournament concluded, Alexandra Eala had firmly established herself as a rising force in women's tennis. Reflecting on that unforgettable week, Eala has admitted that the experience still feels surreal when she looks back on it. In an interview with the Sit Down podcast, she described the Miami run as the moment that truly placed her on the global tennis map. Everything seemed to fall into place during that tournament. Her confidence grew with every match, and the momentum she generated carried her through one challenge after another. She later admitted that even now it can be difficult to believe how everything unfolded. The victories, the crowds, the attention from the media, it all happened so quickly that it felt almost unbelievable. The rewards from that breakthrough were immediate. Her remarkable performance in Miami helped her surge up the world rankings, climbing rapidly from number 140 to number 75. That jump represented a historic milestone, as she became the first Filipina player to break into the top 100 in the history of the WTA rankings. The momentum did not stop there. Over the following months, she continued to improve, winning matches consistently and pushing deeper into tournaments. Her ranking continued to rise, first entering the top 50 and eventually moving into the top 40. Now, nearly a year after her historic Miami performance, Alexandra Eala finds herself ranked number 29 in the world with a total of 1,525 ranking points. It is an extraordinary position for a player who, not long ago, was still fighting to gain recognition on the global stage. However, with that progress comes a new reality that every successful player must eventually face: the pressure of defending ranking points. The ranking system used by the WTA operates on a rolling 52-week structure. This means that players accumulate points based on their best results during the past year, but they must also defend those points when the same tournaments return on the calendar. For Eala, the challenge is particularly significant in Miami because her semifinal run last year earned her a massive 390 ranking points. Those points have been part of the total that lifted her into the top 30, but now they are at risk. If those points were removed from her current total without replacement, her ranking position would drop significantly. Removing the 390 points from her current 1,525 total would leave her with 1,135 points. Fortunately, she is guaranteed at least 10 points simply for entering the tournament, bringing the adjusted total to around 1,145. Even with that minimum guarantee, the live rankings already show the potential impact. Before playing a single match in Miami this year, Eala has temporarily slipped about 20 places in the live standings, placing her around number 49. But the situation is far from hopeless. In fact, it presents a fresh opportunity. Every victory she earns in Miami will bring new ranking points that can quickly restore or even improve her current position. Because she is now one of the seeded players in the tournament, she has received a first-round bye and will begin her campaign in the second round. Her opening opponent will be either Laura Siegemund or Petra Marcinko, two competitors capable of presenting a difficult challenge. If Eala manages to win that first match, she will earn 65 ranking points, a valuable boost that could immediately help her climb back up the rankings and reduce the pressure surrounding her title defense. For the young Filipina star, the upcoming matches represent more than just another tournament. They symbolize the next stage of her development as a professional athlete. 1 year ago, she arrived in Miami as a fearless underdog with nothing to lose. Today, she returns as an established top 30 player, carrying expectations from fans, analysts, and an entire nation that proudly supports her journey. Whether she recreates the magic of last year or faces a tougher challenge this time, one thing is certain: Alexandra Eala's story is still only beginning, and the tennis world will be watching closely as she continues to chase even greater achievements in the years ahead. Tennis,